So this is the second largest U.S. collection of mollusks, and we'll take a look through. Housing alcohol preserved collections that's safer for alcohol than this building. So this building will now house our dry mollusks. So let's take a look at the cone aisle. So cones are predatory snails that live in the sea. A large cone species. This particular specimen is from Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. Oh. And this species, so this one doesn't have too much information. T.H. Aldrich, that's an old collection. In fact, you can see the original labeling that came from the Geological Survey of Alabama. So we take in a lot of collections both from private collectors and from institutions that are no longer able or want to keep a mollusk collection. So in this case, the Geological Survey of Alabama gave this to us. It's flaking off a bit here. That's periostracum. That's kind of a protein layer that protects the shell from acids in the water. Oh. And when that's removed, these tend to be kind of brighter and shinier. And these guys eat sea biscuits, things like that, echinoderms. This is not uncommon in off of West Florida. Oh. If you go to Hard Bottom offshore, you can find these. And these are just plowing through the sand eating sea biscuits.
Really?
This is the second largest snail in the world. It gets to be maybe about that much bigger.
Oh, wow.
So this one is an adult, but not a really old adult.
Okay.
And the animal is bright orange, really pretty. And these hunt other snails. So you can often see them eating the left-handed whelk.
Okay.
And other big snails. There is a Caribbean, so this is the Indian one.
Wow.
So they're normally right-handed, and then there are rare mutants, probably 1 in 10,000 that are left-handed. Equivalent looks a little different, but this is a Caribbean shank.
This one?
Yeah.
And this one is?
This one is a Brazilian species.
Oh, okay.
You see they're all shaped a little differently, but they're kind of the same pattern. They all have these. You get a lot of shell characters like these ridges. This group and several other related groups have those strong ridges on the inside. Then you can also look at the anatomy of the animal. And then nowadays you're also looking at the DNA of the animal and seeing who's really related. Because in the old days we'd say, this one has this shape, so I think it's related to this. And then we find out, oh, there are several different groups that have that shape. So we're constantly learning more about how these are related to one another. Have a good sense for it, because you can look at this, you can look at these and say, oh, these things. We have all of the textual data is online. Some very few things have photos.
Okay.
And some of them have georeference points. So a latitude and longitude that allows you to make a map instantly. So we have different levels of information, and we're trying to get more and more information. So I have a couple of projects that are designed to add latitudes and longitudes so that you can map. So you can press a button and say, oh, this is the distribution within the Florida Museum of this.
Oh,
so
really?
soft-bodied snail has a really big foot, smothers crabs and eats them. Yeah. So they're really very Africa mostly. And there's some smaller ones.
Okay.
Yes. And this family often has really big protoconchs. This is the part of the shell that was in the egg capsule. And so usually when you see a really big protoconch, it means that it crawls away from the egg. It doesn't, a lot of mollusks have veliger larvae that travel great distances, and so often those species have very big ranges. These guys, because they crawl, their protoconch is too big for them to float. So they don't have a floating larval stage. They crawl out of the egg capsule, and so their ranges tend to be narrower because they don't have a way of dispersing as quickly or as far.
Wow.
These are eaten in a lot of West Africa. And so this came from Cape Verga in Guinea. Very few bright green species of land snails. You would think that bright green would be really a good color to be in a tropical forest. And there are many land snails that have green bodies that show through slightly transparent shells, but this one has a shell that's